The man in the black car shouldn't exist. Jinwoo watched him burn, helped him fake his own death to escape prison. But his father is alive, and he's looking at Jinwoo's children like they're chess pieces. 6 months of peace, 6 months of healing, 6 months of learning to be human. All of it shatters in 3 seconds. Because the most dangerous man Jinwoo ever knew just smiled at his daughter. And that smile said everything. I know, I can reach them, and you will do exactly what I say. What happens when the monster who created you comes back from the dead? What happens when the only way to protect your children is to become him? Jinwoo thought he'd escaped his father's legacy. He was wrong. Jinwoo's hand moved to his phone before his brain caught up. His father was dead. He'd watched the warehouse burn, seen the DNA reports, attended a closed funeral with 3 people present. Dead men didn't sit in black sedans watching elementary schools. Daddy, what's wrong? Elijah's voice cut through the static in Jinwoo's head. Jinwoo looked down. All 3 children were staring up at him with worried faces. Ilara's small hand gripped his tightly. Nothing, he lied, forcing his expression neutral. Let's get you to school. But his eyes never left the car. The back window was still down. And through it, Jinwoo could see him clearly now. Kang Tae-sung, 62 years old, scarred face, eyes like frozen coal. The man who'd raised Jinwoo with fists and fear. The man who'd built the Kang Empire on blood and brutality. The man who was supposed to be ashes. Their eyes met across 50 feet of pavement. Tae-sung smiled. It was the same smile Jinwoo remembered from childhood, the one that came before pain. Then the window rolled up and the car pulled away. Jinwoo stood frozen, his children tugging at his hands, while his entire world collapsed inward. You're sure it was him? Hwan's voice was tight with controlled panic. They sat in Jinwoo's car, parked 3 blocks from the school, while Jinwoo's hands shook so badly he had to grip the steering wheel to hide it. I'm sure. Sir, that's impossible. We saw the body. We saw what he wanted us to see. Jinwoo's voice was hollow. He faked his death before. Mexico, 2011. Berlin, 2015. This is what he does. Why reveal himself now? Jinwoo closed his eyes. Because he knows about them. About the children. Silence. Then Hwan said quietly, What do you want me to do? Jinwoo had spent 6 months dismantling his father's empire, legitimizing businesses, cutting ties with the underworld, becoming someone worthy of Amara and the children. All of that was about to be worthless. Find him, Jinwoo said. I need to know where he's been, who he's working with, what he wants. And if he makes contact, he will. Jinwoo opened his eyes. That's why he showed himself. He wants me to know he's back. He wants me scared. Are you? Jinwoo thought of Ilara's small hand in his. Elijah's serious eyes. Ezra's bright laugh. Terrified, he admitted. Amara knew something was wrong the moment Jinwoo walked into her office. She'd learned to read him over the past 6 months. The subtle shifts in his expression, the way he held tension in his shoulders. This was different. This was the man she'd seen 6 years ago. Cold, controlled, dangerous. What happened? She asked immediately. Jinwoo closed the door behind him, locked it. We need to talk. Those 4 words made her blood run cold. Are the children okay? For now. Jinwoo, my father is alive. Amara blinked. What? The man who raised me, who built the Kang Empire, who I told you died 5 years ago. Jinwoo's jaw clenched. He's alive. And he knows about Elijah, Ezra, and Ilara. The room tilted. Amara had heard stories about Jinwoo's father. Not many. Jinwoo didn't talk about his past unless forced. But she'd heard enough to know that Kang Tae-sung was a legend in the Korean underworld. Brutal. Strategic. Utterly ruthless. How? She whispered. He faked his death. Again. I don't know where he's been or why he's back. But this morning he was parked outside the children's school. Amara's legs gave out. She sat down hard in her desk chair. He was watching them? Yes. Did he approach them? No, he just let me see him. Let me know he's back. Amara's mind raced. We call the police right now. The police can't help us. Jinwoo. Amara. His voice was gentle but absolute. My father owns half the police in 3 cities. He has connections in federal agencies. He's been running criminal operations for 40 years without getting caught. The law can't touch him. Then what do we do? Jinwoo crossed the room and knelt in front of her chair, taking her hands in his. I handle this. How? His eyes were dark with something that made her shiver. However, I have to. That night, Jinwoo received a text from an unknown number. Tomorrow. 8 p.m. The Lotus Garden. Come alone. Father Jinwoo stared at the message for 10 minutes. He was at Amara's penthouse. The children were asleep. Amara sat across from him, watching him with worried eyes. He wants to meet, Jinwoo said quietly. Where? The Lotus Garden. It's a restaurant we used to. It was his place, where he conducted business. You can't go. I have to. Jinwoo, he'll keep escalating until I do. Jinwoo set his phone down. This is how he operates. Pressure, intimidation. He wants me to know he's in control. So you just walk into a trap? It's not a trap. Jinwoo's smile was bitter. He won't kill me. Not yet. He wants something from me first. What? Jinwoo was quiet for a long moment. Me, he said finally. He wants me back. The Lotus Garden hadn't changed. Red lacquer walls, golden lanterns, private rooms where men made deals that never appeared on paper. Jinwoo walked through the entrance at exactly 8 p.m., alone as instructed. The hostess recognized him immediately. Her eyes widened. Mr. Kang, your father is waiting in the Phoenix Room. Of course he was. The Phoenix Room, where Taesung held court, where Jinwoo had watched his father break men who failed him, where Jinwoo had learned what power really meant. He climbed the stairs, each step feeling like descending into a grave. The door to the Phoenix Room stood open. His father sat at the head of a long table wearing an expensive suit, looking exactly as Jinwoo remembered. Older, yes, more scars, but the same cold intelligence in his eyes. My son. Taesung gestured to the chair across from him. Sit. Jinwoo remained standing. Why are you here? That's how you greet your father? After 5 years? You're not my father. You're a ghost I buried. Taesung's smile was razor thin. Sit down, Jinwoo. We have much to discuss. Jinwoo didn't move. Stay away from my children. Your children? Taesung leaned back, studying him. 3 beautiful grandchildren I never knew existed. 2 boys and a girl. Korean, despite their interesting mother. Rage flooded Jinwoo's veins. Don't relax. Taesung waved a hand dismissively. I'm not here to hurt them. I'm here because of them. What does that mean? Sit down. The command in his father's voice was automatic. Muscle memory from 20 years of conditioning. Jinwoo's body wanted to obey. Instead, he crossed his arms. I'll stand. Something flickered in Taesung's eyes. Surprise, maybe. Or approval. You've changed, his father observed. 6 months ago, you would have sat immediately. 6 months ago, I didn't have anything worth defying you for. Taesung studied him for a long moment. Then he poured 2 glasses of whiskey, expensive, single malt, the kind he'd trained Jinwoo to appreciate. I've been watching you, Taesung said, dismantling my empire, legitimizing businesses, playing house with a woman and children. Tell me, Jinwoo, do you actually believe you can walk away? I already have. No. Taesung's voice hardened. You've been playing pretend, but blood remembers. You are my son, my heir, my legacy, and that doesn't change because you fell in love. Jinwoo's hands clenched. I'm not your legacy anymore. Really? Taesung stood, moving with the predatory grace of a man who'd spent his life being dangerous. Then let me ask you something. When that Morozov bastard tried to take your children, what did you feel? Jinwoo's jaw tightened. Rage, Taesung continued, circling him slowly. The kind that makes you want to burn the world down. The kind that whispers, I should kill every single person who even thinks about touching them. That's called being a parent. No. Taesung stopped in front of him. That's called being a Kang. We protect what's ours, absolutely, brutally, without mercy. I'm not you. You are exactly me. Taesung's eyes bored into his. You've just been pretending otherwise, but I see you, Jinwoo. I know what you're capable of. And I know that every day you spend with those children, you wonder, what will I do if someone truly threatens them? Jinwoo's silence was answer enough. Taesung smiled. There it is. The truth you don't want to admit. You would do anything to protect them. Anything. Even become the monster you've spent 6 months running from. Why are you here? Jinwoo repeated, his voice low and dangerous. I'm here to make you an offer. I'm not interested. You haven't heard it yet. I don't need to. Taesung returned to his seat, gesturing again to the empty chair. This time, Jinwoo sat. Not because his father commanded it, but because he needed to hear what came next. I'm dying, Taesung said simply. Jinwoo blinked. What? Pancreatic cancer. Stage 4. I have maybe 6 months. Maybe less. Taesung's expression didn't change. I faked my death 5 years ago to escape the FBI. Spent those years in Southeast Asia, rebuilding connections, consolidating power. But now, he shrugged, now I'm running out of time, and I need a successor. Jinwoo's blood went cold. No. The Kang Empire needs leadership. Without it, everything fractures. Territory wars, blood in the streets, chaos. Not my problem. It becomes your problem when that chaos reaches your children. The threat was implicit. Obvious. Jinwoo's hands clenched on the armrests. You're using them as leverage. I'm offering you a choice. Taesung leaned forward. Take over. Legitimately. Maintain the infrastructure I built. Protect the territory. Keep the peace. Or walk away and watch Seattle tear itself apart when I'm gone. You're insane. I'm practical. Taesung's eyes narrowed. You dismantled half the empire. Fine. Keep it dismantled. Run what's left as clean as you want. But someone needs to hold the line. Someone the other families respect. Someone they fear. Find someone else. There is no one else. You're my son. My blood. The only person in this city with the reputation and the intelligence to keep control. Jinwoo stood abruptly. I'm not doing this. Then your children will grow up in a war zone. Don't. I'm not threatening them. Taesung's voice was almost gentle. I'm telling you reality. When I die, the Kims will push into our territory. The Bratva will make their move. The Triads will see opportunity. And anyone connected to the Kang name becomes a target, including a certain black woman and 3 beautiful children. Jinwoo's vision went red. Unless, Taesung continued, you step up, maintain order, show strength, keep them safe, by becoming you, by being smart. Taesung stood, meeting his eyes. I'm not asking you to be brutal. I'm asking you to be strategic. Hold the territory. Maintain the alliances. Keep the peace. You can do all of that without becoming what I was. Jinwoo wanted to walk out, wanted to tell his father to go to hell, but the truth sat like lead in his stomach. Everything Taesung said was true. If the Kang Empire collapsed, Seattle's underworld would erupt, and Amara and the children would be caught in the crossfire. I need time, Jinwoo said finally. You have 3 days. Taesung pulled out a folder and slid it across the table. That's everything. Territory maps, alliance structures, key players. Read it. Think about it. And then decide, do you want to protect your family? Or do you want to feel good about yourself while they burn? Jinwoo took the folder. He didn't open it. He just turned and walked out, his father's words echoing in his head like poison. Amara knew Jinwoo was lying the moment he came home. How did it go? She asked carefully. Fine. He just wanted to talk. About what? The past. Nothing important. Amara watched him move through her kitchen like a ghost, making tea he wouldn't drink, staring at nothing. Jinwoo. He looked up. Don't lie to me, she said quietly. Not about this. Something in his face crumbled. He sat down at the kitchen table, the folder from his father still clutched in his hands. He's dying, Jinwoo said. Cancer. 6 months, maybe. Oh. And he wants me to take over, to run the empire he built, to become... Jinwoo's voice cracked. To become exactly what I've spent 6 months trying not to be. Amara moved to sit across from him. You said no, right? Jinwoo was quiet. Jinwoo, you said no. He's right. The words came out broken. When he dies, the power vacuum will destroy this city. Territory wars, violence, and anyone connected to the Kang name becomes a target. Meaning us. Meaning you and the children. Yes. Amara's hands gripped the table edge. So what? You're actually considering this? I don't know. The outburst came from somewhere deep. I don't know, Amara. 6 months ago, the answer would have been easy. I would have walked away without a second thought. But now you have something to lose. Now I have everything to lose. Jinwoo looked at her, his eyes raw. You, them, this life we're building. And my father just showed me exactly how fragile it all is. Amara took a shaky breath. Tell me what's in the folder. Amara, show me. I need to see what we're dealing with. Jinwoo hesitated. Then he opened the folder and spread the contents across the table. Territory maps, names, photographs, alliance structures. It looked like something from a crime movie. Amara stared at it, her stomach churning. This is what you came from? She whispered. Yes. This is what you were? Jinwoo's silence was answer enough. Amara looked at the documents. Really looked. And she saw it. The scope. The complexity. The power. Dozens of businesses, hundreds of people, millions of dollars. And at the center of it all, the Kang name, Jin Woo's name. If you do this, she said slowly. What does that mean? Practically, it means I maintain control, keep the alliances stable, prevent war. By doing what? Negotiating, mediating disputes, showing strength when necessary. Showing strength how? Jin Woo's jaw tightened. I don't know. It depends on the situation. Would you hurt people? I don't want to. That's not what I asked. Jin Woo met her eyes. If someone threatened you or the children? Yes. I would do whatever it took to stop them. The honesty was devastating. Amara stood up, pacing to the window. Outside, Seattle glittered with ordinary life. People who didn't know that underneath their city ran currents of power and violence. People like she used to be. I need you to understand something, Jin Woo said quietly. 6 months ago, I was empty. I went through life like a machine. I did what my father taught me because I didn't know any other way. But then I saw you again. I met them. And I remembered what it felt like to be human. He stood, crossing to her. These 6 months with you and the children have been the only real thing in my entire life. And I will not let my father's world destroy that. But I also won't let it destroy you. So you become the monster to protect us from monsters. If that's what it takes. Amara turned to face him. Tears streamed down her face. I didn't sign up for this, she whispered. I know. I wanted normal. I wanted safe. I know. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that loving me means living with this. Amara closed her eyes. What do you need from me? I need you to tell me the truth. Can you live with this? With me? If I do what he's asking? The question hung between them like a blade. Amara thought about the children, about Elijah's laugh, Ezra's joy, Alara's quiet strength. She thought about 6 months of watching Jin Woo transform from the cold man who'd broken her into someone who cried, watching his children sleep. And she thought about the alternative, walking away, trying to disappear, always looking over her shoulder. I don't know, she admitted. I honestly don't know if I can live with it, but I know I can't live with losing them. And if doing this keeps them safe, she took a shuddering breath. Then we figure it out. Together. Jin Woo pulled her into his arms, and Amara let herself break, because she'd just agreed to something she didn't fully understand. And she was terrified of what it would cost them. The decision lasted exactly 48 hours. Then everything went to hell. Jin Woo was in a meeting with Juan, reviewing the territory maps his father had given him, when his phone rang. Amara's number. But it wasn't her voice. Mr. Kang. The voice was unfamiliar. Male. Calm. We have something that belongs to you. Jin Woo's blood turned to ice. Who is this? My name is irrelevant. What matters is that your lovely partner and 3 children are currently in a vehicle heading south on I-5. If you want to see them again, you'll listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you. The world tilted sideways. Jin Woo's hand shot out, gripping the edge of his desk so hard the wood cracked. If you touch them, relax, Mr. Kang. They're perfectly safe. For now. Your father sends his regards, by the way. His father. This was a setup. A demonstration. What do you want? Jin Woo forced the words through clenched teeth. Your father wants an answer. You have 3 hours to decide. Take over the empire, or lose everything. He'll be waiting at the port of Seattle, Pier 47, Warehouse 12. Come alone. Bring your answer. The line went dead. Jin Woo stood frozen for exactly 3 seconds. Then he moved like lightning. Get every man we have, he barked at Juan. Armed, ready. I want vehicles, routes, backup plans, and find out who just called me. Sir, if this is your father, I don't care if it's God himself. Jin Woo's voice was lethal. He just took my family, and I will burn down this entire city to get them back. Juan's eyes widened at something he saw in Jin Woo's face. This wasn't the man who'd spent 6 months becoming gentle.
Before you continue, you have 2 choices right now. Keep listening to short previews, or unlock the full story. You get 20 full episodes, exclusive audio, no ads, no interruptions. Listen anytime, anywhere. I scan the QR code on the screen now. Or click the pinned link in the comments. What was never said continues there.
This was the man Tai-sung had raised. Cold, calculated, absolutely ruthless. Move, Jin Woo ordered, and Juan moved. Amara had been picking up the children from school when it happened. 3 men. Professional, polite even. Ms. Laurent, we need you to come with us. Your children's safety depends on your cooperation. She'd looked at Elijah, Ezra, and Alara, their small faces confused and scared, and she'd made the only choice a mother could make. Okay, we'll go with you. Now they sat in the back of a black SUV driving through Seattle traffic, while Amara held her children close and tried not to let them see her terror. Mommy, where are we going? Alara whispered. I don't know, baby, but it's going to be okay. Is Daddy coming? The word Daddy still made Amara's chest ache. 6 months, and the children had fully claimed Jinwoo as theirs. Yes, she said with more confidence than she felt. Daddy will come. Elijah was quiet. Too quiet. He stared out the window with that too serious expression, his small jaw set in determination that looked heartbreakingly like Jinwoo's. Elijah, Amara said softly. Are you okay? He looked at her. The man in the front seat has a gun. Amara's heart stopped. She glanced at the driver and passenger. Both wore suits. Both sat with the relaxed posture of men who knew they were in control. And Elijah was right. She could see the slight bulge under the passenger's jacket. How did you... she started. Daddy taught me, Elijah said simply. He said to always look for weapons, to stay aware, to remember exits. When had Jinwoo taught him that? That's good, baby. But right now, I need you to stay calm, okay? Can you do that for me? Elijah nodded, but his small hand found hers and squeezed tight. And Amara realized with crushing clarity, these children had already started learning to live in their father's world. The warehouse was exactly what Jinwoo expected. Isolated, defensible, multiple exits. His father had always been predictable in his strategy. Jinwoo arrived with Hwan and 6 armed men. They spread out immediately, taking positions, securing perimeters. But Jinwoo walked in alone. The warehouse was vast and empty, except for a single chair in the center where his father sat, perfectly calm, reading a newspaper. Right on time, Taesung said without looking up. I've always appreciated punctuality in you. Where are they? Jinwoo's voice echoed in the empty space. Safe, unharmed, probably terrified, but that's unavoidable. This isn't negotiation. This is terrorism. This is clarity. Taesung finally looked up, folding his newspaper neatly. I gave you 3 days to decide. You were waffling, so I removed the ambiguity. By kidnapping my family. By showing you what's at stake. Taesung stood, gesturing around the warehouse. This is power, Jinwoo. Real power. The ability to reach anyone, anywhere, anytime. Your children were in a school surrounded by security and teachers. I took them anyway. Your woman was in broad daylight on a public street. I took her anyway. Because you're a monster. Because I'm effective. Taesung's eyes hardened. And you need to remember how to be effective too. Because the moment I'm gone, every enemy we've ever made will come for you. And they won't be as gentle as I am. Jinwoo's hands clenched into fists. Where are they? Answer my question first. Are you ready to take over? Yes. The word came out before Jinwoo could stop it. Not because he wanted to, but because he had no choice. Taesung smiled. Good. Now we can move forward. He pulled out his phone and made a call. Bring them in. 30 seconds later, a side door opened, and Amara walked in, holding Elijah, Ezra, and Alara's hands. They looked unharmed. Scared, but unharmed. Jinwoo's legs almost gave out. Daddy! All 3 children broke free and ran to him. Jinwoo dropped to his knees, pulling them into his arms, checking them frantically for injuries. Are you hurt? Did they touch you? Are you okay? We're fine, Elijah said, his voice steady despite his tears. They didn't hurt us. Jinwoo looked up at Amara. She stood frozen, staring at Taesung with an expression that mixed fury and disbelief. You, she said, her voice shaking. You did this. You terrified them. You made them think. I made you understand reality. Taesung interrupted calmly. This is the world my son lives in. This is the world your children are part of. And the only way to survive it is to have someone strong enough to control it. He turned to Jinwoo. Tomorrow, I'll introduce you to the family heads. You'll take your place. And we'll begin the transition. Understood? Jinwoo wanted to kill him. Every molecule in his body screamed for violence. But the children were in his arms. And Amara was watching. And he'd already made his choice. Understood, he said through gritted teeth. Taesung nodded, satisfied. Good. Now take your family home. And Jinwoo? What? Welcome back. They didn't speak on the drive home. Jinwoo drove while Amara sat in the passenger seat, staring out the window. The children had fallen asleep in the back, exhausted from fear and adrenaline. When they finally reached Amara's penthouse, Jinwoo carried each child inside and tucked them into bed while Amara stood in the kitchen, arms wrapped around herself. When he came back out, she was crying silently. Amara, don't. Her voice broke. Just don't. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Your father kidnapped our children. The words came out raw. He terrorized them. He used them as leverage to force you back into his world. And there was nothing I could do to stop it. I know. I felt so powerless. Tears streamed down her face. I sat in that car with them, and I couldn't protect them. I couldn't call for help. I couldn't fight. I just had to. Trust that you would come. Jinwoo crossed to her, pulling her into his arms even as she tried to push him away. And you did, she continued, sobbing into his chest. You came. Of course you came. But Jinwoo, we can't live like this. They can't grow up like this. Always afraid. Always targets. I know. Then what do we do? Jinwoo held her tighter. I take over. I control the empire. And I make sure no one ever has the power to hurt you again. By becoming him. By becoming stronger than him. Amara pulled back, searching his face. And what happens to you? To us? I don't know, Jinwoo admitted. But I know that I love you. And I love them. And I will do whatever it takes to keep you safe. Even if that means losing myself. I don't want you to lose yourself. Then help me. His voice cracked. Help me stay human while I do this. Remind me who I am. Don't let me become him. Amara closed her eyes, fresh tears falling, because she was agreeing to something impossible. To love a man who lived in darkness while trying to keep him in the light. Okay, she whispered. Okay, we'll try. And Jinwoo held her like she was the only thing keeping him from drowning. That night, after Amara finally fell into exhausted sleep, Jinwoo stood in the children's room. He watched them breathe, watched Elijah's small face relaxed in sleep, watched Ezra cuddle his stuffed dinosaur, watched Alara's tiny fingers curl around her blanket, and he made a promise. I will keep you safe, no matter what it costs me, no matter what I become. You will grow up protected, loved, free, even if I have to burn the world down to do it. He kissed each of their foreheads gently. Then he went downstairs and opened his father's folder. And he began to plan. Because Kang Tae-sung had made a critical mistake. He'd shown Jinwoo exactly how vulnerable everyone was, including him. The meeting happened in a private room at an exclusive hotel. 7 men, the heads of every major family in Seattle's underworld. Korean, Russian, Chinese, Japanese, even one Irish. They sat around a table, each flanked by bodyguards, each radiating the kind of power that came from decades of control. And at the head of the table sat Tae-sung, with Jinwoo at his right hand. Gentlemen, Tae-sung began, his voice carrying authority. I've asked you here because it's time for a transition. I'm dying, and I'm naming my successor. The room went silent. My son Jinwoo Kang will take over all Kang operations. He has my complete authority, my complete backing, and anyone who challenges him challenges me. Eyes turned to Jinwoo. He felt their assessment, their calculation. Some knew him from before, when he'd been his father's enforcer. They knew what he was capable of. Others were new. They saw a young man trying to fill impossible shoes. Jinwoo, Tae-sung said. Stand and introduce yourself. Jinwoo stood. For 6 months, he'd been trying to be gentle, trying to be good. But in this room, gentleness was weakness. So he let the mask fall. He let them see the man his father had raised. My name is Kang Jinwoo, he said, his voice cold and absolute. For the past 6 months, I've been restructuring our operations. Some of you have benefited from that. Others have lost ground. That will continue. A few men shifted uncomfortably. I'm not my father, Jinwoo continued. I don't run things the way he did. But make no mistake, I am not weak, and I am not naive. Touch what's mine, and you'll learn exactly what I'm capable of. The threat hung in the air. One of the Russian delegates, a man named Volkov, leaned forward. And what is yours, exactly? Jinwoo's eyes locked on him. Everything my father built. Everything I'm building. And my family. Anyone who threatens them doesn't get a warning. They get erased. Volkov's smile was cold. Brave words for someone who wasn't here 5 years ago. I was here. Jinwoo's voice dropped to something lethal. I was the one who handled the Dmitry problem. I was the one who negotiated the port agreements. I was the one who made sure the FBI investigation went nowhere. So don't mistake my absence for weakness. I was building the foundations while you were fighting over scraps. The room went very quiet. Even Tae-sung looked surprised. Jin-woo had just claimed responsibility for operations that had defined Seattle's underworld for half a decade, and everyone in the room knew those operations had been brilliant, strategic, effective. If Jin-woo was telling the truth, he wasn't just his father's son. He was his father's equal. Any other questions? Jin-woo asked. Silence. Then Kim Jae-sung, the Korean family head, stood and bowed slightly. We accept the transition. Welcome, Jin-woo. One by one, the others followed, except Volkov. He stood slowly, his eyes never leaving Jin-woo's. We'll see how long you last. Then he walked out. Tae-sung watched him go, then turned to Jin-woo. You just made an enemy. I made 7 enemies the moment I sat down, Jin-woo replied. At least Volkov is honest about it. His father's smile was proud, and that made Jin-woo sick. But he'd played his part. Now he just had to survive it. 3 weeks passed. 3 weeks of Jin-woo living a double life. During the day, he was daddy. He helped Elijah with homework. He played soccer with Ezra. He built elaborate fairy houses with Alara. During the night, he was Kang Jin-woo. He attended meetings. He negotiated treaties. He made decisions that affected thousands of lives. And every day, he felt himself changing. Small things at first. The way he evaluated people, automatically assessing threats, calculating leverage. The way he spoke, more commanding, less gentle. The way he moved, like violence was always an option, just waiting to be deployed. Amara noticed. You're different, she said one night after the children were asleep. They sat on her balcony, the city lights spread below them like a carpet of stars. I know, Jin-woo admitted. It scares me. It scares me too. She turned to look at him. Are you okay? Really? Jin-woo considered lying, considered saying what she wanted to hear. Instead, he said, No, I'm not okay. Every day I spend in that world, I feel pieces of myself disappearing. The gentleness, the patience, the part of me that learned to be human. Then stop. I can't. Not yet. Why? Because Volkov is making moves. The Russian family is testing boundaries. If I show weakness now, everything collapses. Amara was quiet for a long time. What happened to the man who cried in playgrounds? He's still here, Jin-woo said softly. But he's buried under armor, because that man can't survive where I'm going. And where are you going? Jin-woo looked out at the city. Somewhere dark. Somewhere I promised myself I'd never return to. Will you come back? The question hung between them like a prayer. I don't know, Jin-woo whispered. Ask me in 6 months. The children noticed too. Elijah started having nightmares. Jin-woo would wake to find his son standing in the doorway of the guest room, small and scared. Daddy? Are you okay? I'm fine, buddy. Go back to bed. But Elijah wouldn't move. You look sad, even when you're smiling. God, 5 years old, and already too perceptive. Jin-woo would scoop him up and carry him back to bed, lying down beside him until he fell asleep. And he'd wonder, what am I teaching them? What kind of man am I showing them how to be? Ezra became quieter, less joyful. He still laughed and played, but there was something muted about it now, like he sensed the tension and didn't know how to navigate it. Alara started asking questions. Daddy, why do you go away at night? Work, baby. What kind of work? Boring grown-up stuff. Is it dangerous? Jin-woo's throat closed. Why would you ask that? Because mommy cries when you leave. He'd looked at Amara then and seen the truth in her eyes. She was terrified every time he walked out the door. Terrified he wouldn't come back. Terrified that one day she'd have to explain to their children why Daddy didn't come home. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. Jin-woo was in a meeting with Volkov's second-in-command, a negotiation about port access that was going nowhere. Your terms are unreasonable, the Russian said. Your alternative is war, Jin-woo replied calmly. Then maybe war is what we need. The threat was clear. Jin-woo leaned back in his chair, studying the man across from him. He was young, ambitious, stupid. Let me explain something to you, Jin-woo said quietly. I've been very patient, very reasonable. I've given your family every opportunity to work with me rather than against me. And we appreciate that. I'm not finished. Jin-woo's voice dropped to something lethal. But my patience has limits. And you just reached them. The Russian's eyes widened slightly. Here's what's going to happen, Jin-woo continued. You're going to go back to Volkov. You're going to tell him that his next move will be his last. And you're going to make him understand that I am not my father. I don't make examples. I erase problems. Is that a threat? It's a promise. The Russian stood, his face flushed with anger. Volkov will hear about this. Good. That was the point. After he left, Juan emerged from the shadows. Sir, that was aggressive. It was necessary. You just declared war. No. Jinwoo's eyes were cold. I just made it clear that war would be suicide. Volkov will back down. And if he doesn't? Jinwoo was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something that made Juan's blood run cold. Then I'll kill him myself. The words came out so easily, so naturally, like they'd been waiting in Jinwoo's throat for years. And Jinwoo realized with horror, he meant it. He would kill Volkov, without hesitation, without remorse, to protect his family, to maintain control, to survive. He'd become exactly what his father wanted, a killer. That night, Jinwoo couldn't go home. He sat in his car outside Amara's building for 2 hours, staring at the lit windows where his family waited. He could see shadows moving, Amara putting the children to bed, their small silhouettes dancing against the curtains. His whole world was in that apartment, and he couldn't walk through the door because he'd looked in the mirror that afternoon and seen his father staring back. The same cold eyes, the same empty expression, the same willingness to do whatever violence was necessary. How could he hold his children with these hands? How could he kiss Amara with this mouth that had just threatened murder? How could he pretend to be human when he felt like a monster? His phone rang. Amara. He let it go to voicemail. She called again. Again. On the 5th call, he answered. Where are you? Her voice was tight with worry. Outside. Outside where? Your building. I can't come up. Silence. Then, why? Because I'm not safe right now. Jinwoo, I threatened to kill a man today, Amara. And I meant it. I looked him in the eye and promised I would erase him. And the worst part is, it felt easy, natural, like I've been waiting my whole life to become this. He heard her breath catch. Come up, she said finally. Please, just come up. I don't want the children to see me like this. They're asleep. Come up. We'll talk. Amara, Jinwoo, please, I need to see you. So he went up, and when she opened the door, the first thing she did was pull him inside and wrap her arms around. She didn't say anything. She just held him. And Jinwoo broke. All the control, all the armor, all the coldness. It shattered. He sobbed into her shoulder while she held him up, whispering words he couldn't understand but felt in his bones. You're okay. I've got you. You're not lost. I won't let you be lost. When he finally could breathe again, she led him to the couch and made him tea he didn't drink. Talk to me, she said softly. So he did. He told her everything. The meeting, the threat, the realization that he was capable of killing without hesitation. I'm turning into him, Jinwoo whispered. Everything I swore I'd never become. Everything I tried to escape. It's all coming back. No, Amara said firmly. You're not him. How can you say that? You heard what I just told you. Your father wouldn't be sitting here crying about it. Her eyes were fierce. Your father wouldn't care. He wouldn't feel guilt or horror. He'd just do it and move on. That doesn't make me better. Yes, it does. She took his hands. Feeling this, hating this, that's what makes you different. That's what makes you human. What if it's not enough? What if feeling bad about it doesn't stop me from doing it? Then we deal with that when it happens. But Jinwoo, you can't let fear of what you might become destroy who you are right now. Jinwoo closed his eyes. I don't know how to do this. How to be both. How to be the man they need at night and the father they need during the day. You don't have to figure it out alone. Amara's voice was steady. That's what I'm here for. To remind you. To pull you back when you go too far. To love you even when you can't love yourself. How? The question came out broken. How can you love someone like me? Because I see you. She cupped his face gently. I see the man who plays fairy houses with his daughter. I see the man who teaches his son to skip rocks. I see the man who cries in playgrounds because he's overwhelmed with love. That man is real, and he's stronger than the darkness. Jinwoo wanted to believe her. God, he wanted to believe her so badly. What if I can't come back from this? He whispered. Then I'll go in and drag you out. Her smile was fierce. However many times it takes. And for the first time in weeks, Jinwoo felt something like hope. Kang Tae-sung died on a Thursday morning, peacefully, in his sleep. Exactly the kind of death he didn't deserve. Jinwoo got the call at 6 a.m. He stood in Amara's kitchen, phone in hand, staring at nothing while the world rearranged itself around him. His father was gone. The man who'd created him, destroyed him, controlled him for 32 years. Gone. He should feel relief, freedom. Instead, he felt nothing, just empty. Jinwoo? Amara appeared in the doorway, wrapped in a robe. Who was that? My father died. She went very still. Oh, the funeral is tomorrow. I have to go. Of course. She crossed to him, taking his hands. Do you want me to come? No, this is. It's going to be a specific crowd. People you shouldn't meet. Okay. She searched his face. Are you all right? I don't know. And he didn't. Because along with the emptiness came something else. Clarity. His father was gone, which meant the promise Jinwoo had made was complete. He'd taken over. He'd maintained control. He'd kept the peace. And now he had a choice. Stay in this world, continue what his father built, or walk away. The funeral was exactly what Jinwoo expected. Small, private, filled with men who'd spent their lives breaking laws and building empires. They came to pay respects, but also to assess, to see if Jinwoo was really strong enough to hold what his father had left behind. Volkov was there, standing in the back, watching. So were the other family heads, the ones who'd accepted Jinwoo's leadership 3 weeks ago, and dozens of others, soldiers, lieutenants, people whose lives depended on the Kang family maintaining power. Jinwoo stood beside the casket, accepting condolences he didn't want, playing a role he despised. But he played it well, because that's what his father had taught him. Always play the part, always maintain control. After the service, Kim Jae-sung approached him. Jinwoo, I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you. Your father was a great man. Great. The word tasted like poison. He was effective, Jinwoo said carefully. Kim nodded, understanding the distinction. What happens now? Now we continue. Nothing changes. And if things do change? Jinwoo met his eyes. Then we adapt. Kim studied him for a long moment. Then he bowed slightly and walked away. One by one, the others came, offered condolences, asked subtle questions about the future, and Jinwoo gave them the answers they needed to hear. Yes, I'm staying. Yes, I'm committed. Yes, everything continues. But inside, he was screaming, because every word felt like a chain wrapping tighter around his soul. The breaking point came that night. Jinwoo returned to Amara's apartment exhausted and hollowed out. The children were already asleep. Amara waited up, sitting on the couch with tea growing cold. How was it? She asked gently. Horrible. Expected. I don't know. He sat beside her, and she curled into his side automatically. They stayed like that for a long time, just breathing. Then Amara said quietly, You don't have to do this anymore. Jinwoo's eyes closed. What? Your father is gone. The threat is over. You don't have to keep running his empire. You could walk away. It's not that simple. Why not? Because there are people depending on me. Families, businesses. If I walk away, everything collapses. Let it collapse. Jinwoo pulled back to look at her. You don't mean that. I do. Her eyes were fierce. Jinwoo, I've watched you disappear over the past 3 weeks. Every day you come home a little colder, a little harder, a little more like the man I met 6 years ago who broke my heart. Amara, I love you, she continued, tears gathering. I love you so much, but I can't watch you destroy yourself trying to hold together a world you never wanted to be part of. What about the children? Their safety? We'll figure it out. We'll leave Seattle, change our names, disappear. Whatever it takes. That's not a life. Neither is this. The words came out sharp. This isn't a life, Jinwoo. This is survival. And I'm tired of just surviving. I want to live. I want our children to live. Without fear. Without looking over our shoulders. Without wondering if Daddy is going to come home. Jinwoo's throat closed. Because she was right. Everything she was saying was absolutely right. But if I walk away, there will be war, he said quietly. Territory disputes, violence, people will die, people you don't know, people who made their own choices to live in that world. That doesn't make their lives worth less. No, Amara's voice softened, but it doesn't make their lives worth more than yours, than ours, than our children's. Jinwoo stood, pacing to the window. Outside, Seattle glittered with lights, thousands of lives, most of them completely unaware of the currents of power running beneath their city. And he realized something. His father had spent 40 years convinced that he was essential, that without him, everything would fall apart. But his father was gone, and the world kept turning. I need to think, Jinwoo said finally. Okay. Amara stood crossing to him. But Jinwoo, whatever you decide, I'm with you. If you need to stay in this world, we'll find a way. But if you want to leave, I'll help you build something new." She kissed him gently. Then she went to bed, leaving him alone with his thoughts. Jinwoo stood at the window for hours, thinking about his father, about the empire, about power and control and legacy, and thinking about Elijah's laugh, Ezra's joy, Alara's quiet strength, about Amara's fierce love, about the man he'd been trying to become before his father returned from the dead. The choice should have been impossible. But as the sun started to rise over Seattle, Jinwoo realized it was actually very simple. He could keep his father's empire, or he could keep his soul. Not both. The meeting happened at noon. Jinwoo called together all the family heads, every major player in Seattle's underworld. They came expecting a strategic discussion, plans for the future, leadership decisions. Instead, Jinwoo stood at the head of the table and said 5 words that changed everything. "I'm walking away. It's over." Silence. Then chaos. "You can't. This is insane. Your father would. My father is dead." Jinwoo's voice cut through the noise like a blade. "And I'm not him. I never wanted this. I never chose this. I've spent the last 3 weeks playing a role because I thought I had to, because I thought I was the only one who could hold things together." He looked around the table at these powerful, dangerous men. "But I was wrong. This city doesn't need me. You don't need me. You'll figure it out. You'll make alliances or you'll go to war. Either way, it's your choice, not mine. If you walk away, there will be consequences," Volkov said, his voice dangerous. "I know." Jinwoo met his eyes without flinching. "And I accept them. But here's what you need to understand. I'm done. Completely. I'm taking my family and disappearing. And if anyone tries to use them as leverage or to pull me back, I will show you exactly why my father feared what I could become." The threat hung in the air, because everyone in the room had heard the stories about the things Jinwoo had done before he left, the precision, the ruthlessness. They'd assumed 6 months of domesticity had softened him, but looking at him now, they realized it hadn't. He'd just learned to control it. "You have until sunset to redistribute territory," Jinwoo continued. "After that, everything that was Kang property becomes neutral ground. First person to claim it keeps it. I don't care." He pulled out a folder and tossed it onto the table. "That's everything. Bank accounts, property deeds, business documents. It's yours. Divide it however you want." Kim Jae-sung stood slowly. "Jinwoo, please reconsider. You're making a mistake." "Maybe." Jinwoo's smile was sad. "But it's my mistake to make." He turned and walked toward the door. "Kang!" Volkov's voice stopped him. Jinwoo turned. The Russian was standing, his face flushed with anger. "You think you can just walk away? You think we'll let you? I think you'll be smart enough not to test me." "Or what?" Jinwoo's eyes went cold. "Try me and find out." For 3 seconds, the room held its breath. Then Volkov sat down, and Jinwoo walked out. He didn't look back. Amara was packing when Jinwoo came home. 3 suitcases spread across the bed. Children's clothes folded neatly, essentials organized. She looked up when he entered, hope and fear warring in her expression. "I walked away," Jinwoo said simply. Amara's breath caught. "You did. I'm done. We're leaving, tonight." She crossed the room in 3 steps and kissed him so hard they both stumbled backward. "Thank you," she whispered against his lips. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." "Don't thank me yet. We have to disappear. Really disappear. New city. New names. New life. I don't care." Amara's eyes were fierce. "As long as we're together." "Mommy? Daddy?" They turned. All 3 children stood in the doorway, staring at the suitcases with wide eyes. "Are we going on a trip?" Ezra asked. Jinwoo knelt down, gathering them close. "We're going on an adventure," he said. "A big one. Would you like that?" "Where are we going?" Elijah asked carefully. "Somewhere safe. Somewhere no one can find us. Somewhere we can just be a family." "Will you still be our daddy?" Alara's small voice nearly broke him. "Always," Jinwoo promised, pulling her close. "No matter where we go, no matter what happens, I will always, always be your daddy." She nodded, satisfied, and Jinwoo realized she'd needed to hear it, because even at 5 years old, she understood that things were changing. "Go pack your favorite toys," Amara told them gently. "1 bag each. Whatever you want to bring to our new home." The children scattered excitedly, and Jinwoo and Amara stood together, holding hands, on the edge of something terrifying and beautiful. "Are you scared?" she asked. Terrified. Me too. But, Amara smiled, but I'd rather be terrified with you than safe without you. They left Seattle at midnight. 1 car, 5 people. Everything they needed packed into a single vehicle. Jinwoo drove while Amara navigated. The children slept in the back, exhausted from excitement and fear. As the city lights faded in the rearview mirror, Jinwoo felt something he hadn't felt in years. Freedom. Real, genuine freedom. Where are we going? Amara asked softly. I have a place. Montana. Small town. My mother bought a house there years ago under a different name. No one knows about it. Montana, Amara repeated, smiling. I've never been to Montana. It's quiet, isolated, safe, perfect. They drove in comfortable silence for a while. Then Jinwoo said, I'm sorry for everything you've been through because of me. Stop. Amara's hand found his. I chose this. I chose you. I'd choose you again, even after everything, especially after everything. She squeezed his hand. Because you chose us too. You walked away from everything you knew, everything your father built. You chose love over power. It was the easiest choice I've ever made. Amara's smile was radiant. Then stop apologizing and just drive. Our new life is waiting. So he drove, through the night, into the unknown, towards something he'd never thought possible.
What you've heard so far is only the surface. This story wasn't meant to be consumed in fragments. It was created to be experienced from beginning to end. When you unlock full access, you receive 20 full audio episodes and over 10 hours of immersive storytelling. It's private members-only area, not available on YouTube. No ads, no interruptions. Listen on any device, anytime. Lifetime access. And there's more. New content every week, and you can even choose the theme of the next story. But be aware, access for new members is closing. I'd scan the QR code now, or click the pinned link in the comments. What was never said continues now, if you choose to enter.
A future where he wasn't King Jinwoo, criminal heir, just Jinwoo, father, partner, human being. It was everything he'd ever wanted, and everything he'd almost destroyed trying to have. But as the miles passed and his family slept peacefully around him, Jinwoo allowed himself to believe maybe happy endings were possible after all, even for monsters learning to be men. 3 months later, the farmhouse in Montana was perfect, rustic, isolated, surrounded by mountains and sky and silence. The children thrived. Elijah started school under his new name and made friends. Ezra joined a soccer team. Alara discovered she loved horseback riding. Amara found work consulting remotely for architecture firms. Nothing flashy, nothing that drew attention. And Jinwoo learned to breathe. He took the children fishing, built them a treehouse, taught them to ride bikes and identify constellations. He and Amara got married in a tiny courthouse ceremony with just the 5 of them. No family, no guests, no witnesses except the judge. Just them, making promises they both intended to keep. Life was simple, quiet, beautiful. And for the first time in his entire life, Jinwoo was happy. Really, truly happy. But on a Tuesday afternoon, 3 months and 2 days after they'd left Seattle, Jinwoo came home from town to find Amara standing in the kitchen, holding a phone he didn't recognize. Her face was white. What's wrong? Jinwoo asked immediately. She held out the phone without speaking. Jinwoo took it. There was a single text message from an unknown number, and attached to it was a photograph of Elijah, Ezra, and Alara, taken that morning at their new school in Montana. The message read, "Found you. We need to talk about your father's will. Turns out you inherited more than you thought, and some people want it back. You have 48 hours to contact me, or your new life becomes very complicated." Fi Jinwoo's blood turned to ice. Fi, Volkov. He looked up at Amara, seeing his own horror reflected in her eyes. "They found us," she whispered. Jinwoo stared at the photograph of his children, his beautiful, innocent children who thought they were safe. And he realized with crushing finality, you can't ever really escape. You can only run until someone decides to chase. His phone, his real phone, the one he'd kept hidden, buzzed. Another message. Different number. Your father left you something in his will. Something everyone wants. Check your email. The password is Phoenix. And Jinwoo, welcome back to the game. Jinwoo's hand started shaking because he knew what this meant. His father's final manipulation. Even from the grave, Tae-sung was pulling strings, and Jin-woo was about to discover that walking away had never been an option at all. Jin-woo's father left something in his will, something everyone wants, and now Volkov has found the family. But what happens next? If this video reaches 10 comments, I will choose one idea from you for episode 03. What do you want to see? Jin-woo returns to Seattle and faces Volkov in total war. Amara discovers she also has secrets from the past that can save the family. The children are kidnapped and Jin-woo has to become the monster again. The will reveals that Jin-woo has a secret brother who wants to destroy him. Amara decides to fight alongside Jin-woo and becomes a player in his world, or your own idea. Tell me what you want to see.